Well, hello again. Now this isn't really my sort of thing. I'll leave a link to this video below. It's from a channel called Tomorrow's Build. When I first saw this I thought it was some sort of joke. Some sort of pie in the sky science fiction nonsense. But apparently this is real. They are building this right now.
It wasn't until July of 2022 that we got our first glimpse of what a linear city could actually look like outside of the science fiction movies, and it was unlike anything any of us had ever seen before. The city would essentially be sandwiched between two enormous structures that rise 500 metres into the sky and then stretch for 170 kilometres into the desert, easily the largest buildings ever constructed. They'd also be mirrored, and the idea of that is to minimise their impact on the surrounding environment. The 200-metre gap between these massive skyscrapers is where the city would then lie. Here there'd be a high-speed rail line connecting residents end-to-end in 20 minutes, eliminating the need for cars or roads. Homes, public parks, schools and offices will all be layered on top of each other, meaning that every amenity is accessible within a 5-minute walk, while parks and nature will be accessible from anywhere in the city within just a 2-minute walk. The whole thing takes the concept of the 15-minute city and explodes it. According to Neom, the entire city is going to be powered by renewable energy, and its minimal physical footprint will ensure that 95% of its land will be preserved as it is.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is this is sort of interesting, I suppose, but you know, they're going to cover this thing. It's 170 kilometres long. It's 1,500 feet tall. Actually, no, it's more than that, isn't it? It's 1,600 feet or so, 1,700 feet tall. So it's an awful lot of floors, isn't it? It's going to be 170 kilometres long, 200 metres wide. So they've got this big line going right across the desert. It's a line city. And they show windmills providing the power, and there's a few solar panels there. They're going to cover it in mirrors. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be easier to just cover it in solar panels rather than mirrors? But I mean, that's an awful lot of mirror, and an awful lot, even if they did cover it in solar panels, awful lot of solar panels to keep clean, isn't it? I mean, good heavens, I mean, it's just crazy stuff. You can imagine all the elite are gonna, what's that? A bit of glare maybe. All the elite are going to be on the top floors, and all the riffraff will be down the bottom where the train is. Along this line you're going to have a train running from end to end, so you can go from end to end by train in 20 minutes, but if you think about it, you're going to have an awful lot of infrastructure pumping water up to that 1,600 feet in the air, all these different dwellings. You've got the wastewater to get rid of, you've got you've got to sort out the power distribution, you've got to get rid of the rubbish, you've got to get rid of the sewage, you've got to process the sewage. Where's all that going to go? And every time you look across out your balcony, you're going to see the same faces on the balcony on the other side of the gap between the two big lines. Every morning, every evening, you know, it's people hate repetition, and this has got repetition written all over it, isn't it? You'll probably find the elite won't go down below about the top 50 floors. And all the riffraff will be down the bottom doing all the menial stuff, you know, looking after the garbage and processing the sewage, and you know, they'll probably be going up to a level where there's some shops. But this, I mean, it's one of these things. It sort of reminds me, it puts me in mind of Blade Runner. You know, the movie Blade Runner. Let's just have a look at this. I mean, how does that look to you? Does that look a bit science fiction-y to you? Looks a bit more than 200 metres wide to me, to be perfectly honest. But they're actually building this. This is Neom, the Neom Line City that's being built in Saudi Arabia. So you're going to live and work within a 5-minute walk of your house, of your apartment, whatever you've got in this massive structure. You're going to be seeing the same people day after day. You're going to be doing the same thing day after day. People hate repetition. It's got disaster written all over it. I think it's going to have, you know, people are going to have cabin fever. There's going to be relationship breakdowns because people can't get away from each other. There's going to be all kinds of issues with this. And how is it actually going to fund itself? You know, there's not going to be any industry there, of course. What's it going to be? Just retail? going to have to sell an awful lot of stuff, aren't they? There's going to be an awful lot of people employed in retail. So yeah, I thought this is, you know, some ivory tower academic has come up with this, someone who doesn't live in the real world. You know, they probably live 5 minutes away from the university and cycle there every day, and I thought that sort of person has come up with this. But if we look at this other thing here, there we go, they are actually building it. Now this is MY Info, and they're actually building this thing right now. They started, I think, late last year. Obviously not written by anyone English. Heavy equipments. So it doesn't look terribly straight there, does it? Can you imagine being one of 9 million people living in that thing? Personally, I can't. It's a bit like a beehive, isn't it? You know, you're all going to be stuck in this thing, and you're all going to be busy little bees in this, supposedly. You're doing whatever you're going to be doing, employed, goodness knows how you're going to be employed, inside this huge structure, 170 kilometres long, 200 metres wide, 500 metres tall. You won't have a car because you won't need it. You never leave this thing. You just go from you know, one floor to another to your job, and then get on a train, maybe go and see some relatives, you know, 50 k's up the line, and then up in the elevator. Yeah, I think the infrastructure alone is going to be it's just going to be ludicrous trying to sort the infrastructure out for this. You know, 9 million people in a line that long. How many sewage plants and garbage treatment plants and all that are they going to have in that line? Every, you know, what, every 10 k's, every 10 kilometres, every 20 kilometres? How many people are going to be employed dealing with all the rubbish and the sewage? How many people are going to be looking after all the water pumps, pumping all the water right up to, you know, 500 metres in the air? And yeah, I think this whole thing is absolutely bloody ludicrous. Hang on, there's another thing here. What's this? There's another thing about it. So you can have a look at this if you're bored.
Structures that you only expect to see in sci-fi movies, and this new Saudi project is one of them. The
King
Saudis
Luxury.
have imagined a futuristic vertical city called the Line that has no cars, produces no pollution, runs an ecosystem of both people and...
Well, it's going to be producing pollution, isn't it? Because you're going to have 9 million people. You're going to have 9 million people breathing out carbon dioxide and farting methane. So it's going to be creating pollution.
and lush vegetation.
The processing the sewage is going to be creating pollution, isn't it?
And will somehow do all this while sitting in the middle of a barren desert. Now, if you are wondering how this is even possible, then I am here to help. In this video, I will show you how the Saudis came up.
Okay, well I think that's enough. It's only a short video, this one. As I say, it's not my sort of thing really. But I saw this the other day and I thought, this can't be real. And I looked, and there's quite a bit on YouTube about it, and it is real, and they are building it. That's King Luxury channel there. So if you're sitting at home on a Sunday, you're bored, and you want a bit of a chuckle, check out the Saudi Arabian Line City. And there's another one there, look, Jake Finance. The Line City, Saudi Arabia's next mega project explained. And it looks like they've based it on the set of Blade Runner to me. So you've got Mr. Tyrrell and co living 500 metres up in the air, and you've got Decker and co living down amongst all the dodgy fish stalls down the bottom under the railway. That's how that's going to be the reality of it, isn't it? Alright, well, as always, thanks for watching, and maybe I'll catch you again.